Welcome to Modding Fallout New Vegas Part 6. In this tutorial we are going to cover Weapon Animation Replacer. Now I've been using this mod in all of my tutorials and several people have noticed it and commented and asked me to do a tutorial on how to install it. It is a little intimidating at first when you try, but it's well worth it. As you can see, some of these animations, they're great. So, why do people find this mod a little bit intimidating to install? Well, if you go along to the site and download the two main files, the Commando Rifle Animation Pack and the Professional Pistol Animation Pack, and open them up, you will notice immediately that there are actually rather a lot of files. There are actually hundreds. At any one install you will have installed over 300 files. And it's not the same files each time. And you can't just copy these files into your data folder, as you do with many other mods. You must copy certain of the folders and copy them to specific places. So, it's a little bit more complicated. It's not very difficult, but it's very easy to make a mistake. And if you're not using a foam mod, if you're doing it by hand, it's very easy to leave files behind when you uninstall a mod. And you tend to do that when you first try this mod, because you'll try different options. You might want to try the pistol raised option or the pistol down option, and you'll try them both. And whilst you're installing and uninstalling this mod, it's quite easy to leave some files behind and get some problems later on. So obviously people are justifiably a little nervous. This means this mod is really in need of a nice scripted installer. Now what do I mean by that? Well, if you remember from other tutorials, you've already used several mods with scripted installers. I've got loads of them installed. So for example, the Advanced Recon Thermal Night Vision mod. This is a scripted installer with a user interface that allows me to select different options for that mod when I'm installing. Some scripted installers don't actually give you those options. A lot of them do. A Unified HUD project is one you should definitely remember, as it has a lot of options and it does all the installation for you. So we need something like that for the Weapons Animation Replacers mod. Now, I am not going to make you write a script. They're not massively difficult, but they do demand some programming skills. And obviously this tutorial is not going to be showing you how to do that. So, what I've actually done is I have created one for you. Aren't I nice? So if you go along to the Weapon Animation Replacer foam mod page and go to the file section and download the Weapon Animation Replacer foam mod, and download that anywhere. Now once this is downloaded, you don't actually need to do anything with this. You do not need to unpack it or open it in any form. You simply save it somewhere on your hard drive. Now I've saved mine to my desktop right here, Weapon Animation Replacer foam mod. That's this. Now the other two files that I downloaded before, the Professional Pistol Animation Pack and the Commando Rifle Animation Pack, those need putting into a folder. So I'm going to make a new folder here and I'm going to call this folder Source Files. That's just my preference. And then I'm going to move both of those into source files. So if I open source files, all I've got are the two archives with all the animations. Now these are the ones that have the animations. This is the actual mod. You need these files. They need to be in this folder. Right, so what do you do with those? Well, open up your package manager. And where you would normally be doing create from folder, we're going to use add PFP. Now PFP stands for pre-made foam mod package, I believe. Select that, then select the pre-made foam mod pack, which is the RAR archive, Weapon animation replacer mod that you downloaded from my site. The source files folder, that is simply this source files folder. Just the folder, don't need to select the files, I just need to select the folder. And that is it. Click OK, and Fallout Mod Manager starts to build our scripted install. This will take a few seconds or a couple of minutes depending on the power of your system, and when it's finished you have your FOMod. So we've got our new scripted FOMod. Let's see what it does for us. I activate it and I get our nice scripted install. It has 6 different boxes for all the different animation views, 3 for first person and 3 for third person. It also has a stance input box and an aimed pistol box. The stance we'll do first. If you look at the default stance, this is the normal stance in Fallout New Vegas. If I click the relaxed stance, you'll notice he's slightly more relaxed than the default. His legs are a little bit more relaxed, a little less bent. This is my personal favourite stance. And then there's the heroic stance with his chest pushed forward. This is a little bit too heroic for me, so I like relaxed. Whichever I pick here, it affects all the other animations slightly, but only in the way they stand. Now if I click on any of these boxes, it shows me a preview of whichever one is currently selected. So this is the core animation for assault rifles. This is the core animation from the third person point of view. If I select option 1, you can see he's holding it a lot lower. If I select the first person view, you can see he's holding it a lot lower. You actually have to almost look at your feet to see it. Now just so you know, you actually can have this first person view along with this third person view. They don't actually have to match, although they tend to match each other if you look at them. The rifles, the different versions here. This one's interesting. Option 2 is he's holding the rifle like so. But again, you can have this as the third person and keep the first person as the core. The pistols, there's a lot more options. So for example, everyone's favourite really. This is my personal favourite. I like the sort of relaxed gunslinger look. More of a professional look. And again, professional but relaxed. The different first person views, as you can see, this one matches that view. This one seems to match a lower pistol view. I think it's not quite matching that, but, and so on. So you can choose how it looks in first person and you can choose how it looks in third person. And then one other thing, the professional aimed grip. When you aim the pistol, this is the standard core animation you get, and you can switch it to gunslinger, and this is the one-handed pistol aiming shot. This is kind of cool. Looks a little less professional, but way more cowboy. And that really is it. That's all your options. And you can then install. And you'll notice it says, do you wish to overwrite? And it's overwriting weapon mods expanded in this particular case. And I can tell you that most of the animations in mods like WMX and Project Nevada use the same animations as I'm overwriting them with. So I'm going to click yes to all. There are a few first person fixes that are quite important, and if you install some optional first person animations, you may find some small issues. You may not. If you notice them, don't worry about it. If you decide you've tried out one first person animation and it didn't quite work with such and such a weapon you added, just go back, hit reactivate, select different options. So for example, maybe you want the third person options like that, and the gunslinger with a relaxed stance, but you leave all the first person to be core, which is the default, and then install that. It will now uninstall the last choices and install your new choices. And that's it. If for some reason you really don't like any of the animations, again, deactivate. It will deactivate all the files. And the beauty of this is any of the files it overwrote, say from Project Nevada or WMX, are now put back where they were before. That's one of the great things about using Fallout Mod Manager. And that's it. That's really all it takes to get brilliant weapon animations. I also want to repeat what I said about the first-person animations and perhaps expand upon it. A lot of mods come with fixed first-person animations so that they actually shoot where you're aiming. They are actually animations from this mod. Generally they are anyway, and they match the core first-person animations. If you play this game as a first-person shooter style game, I recommend leaving all the first-person animations as core. You can change the third person, that's not a problem, but leave the first person as core. If, however, you play with VATs, you can change them to your heart's content. It won't really change anything. Well, I hope this tutorial helped you get some nice animations, and I will look forward to seeing you next time.